Good afternoon. This is Michelle Clary. I'm going to be presenting on EDL's 852 Module 10, helping students realize their learning norms. Learning norms, what is that? Our learning target for today is to help students realize their learning norms. Our objective is to identify 10 expectations that become imperative and rank them in my own personal order. Materials. This is what we're going to need today. We're going to need markers. We're going to need 10 note cards or 10 Post-its or 5 half sheets of paper, whatever you prefer. You need to have access to the Learning Norms slides presentation that I already emailed you and put in Google Classroom. Have your water ready so you don't have to get up and leave the lesson. Put your cell phones on silent. Okay. Learning norms. Learning norms are agreements we make with each other. Class norms are behavioral expectations or rules of the class. Class norms inform us how we are expected to behave towards each other. In the previous slide, I gave you 2 expectations. Have your water ready and put your cell phones on silent. Those are some examples of some learning norms that we're doing today for this class period. Okay, imperatives. Imperatives are completely necessary or very important. So imperatives are your opinion. So let's get into this. What are your expectations that you have for your school? Some of my expectations are, I'd like to keep students in school. I'd like them to have good attendance and be there and be deeply engaged with their learning while I have them in school. The expectations we're going to be working with today are the following. And this is where I need you to have your note cards ready. You're going to write each one of these new expectation vocab words, 1 word per card. Okay, so you're going to write relationships on one card, just on one side. Then you go to your next card, you'll write relevance. Go to your next card, you'll write time. Next card, you'll write timing. You see where I'm going with this? Plays on one card. So you'll have 10 cards total. 1 word, 1 expectation per card. Good job. I like how you're getting to work right away. Okay, let's talk about what these words mean. Relationships, the expectations that you have for school. With relationships, do your teachers or the school know about your interests and talents? Do we know about you? Now you can write your answer on the back side of relationships, or you can keep it in your head. Okay. Let's talk about relevance. Relevance is the work in school relevant to my interests. Time. Are you able to work at your own pace, or is it a constant pace that you have no control over? Okay, you got 3 words. Relationships, relevance, and time. Which one's the most important to you out of those 3? Put that as number 1. What's number 2? And what's number 3? So make your top 3. Okay, let's move to card number 4. Timing. Timing. Do you learn things in the same sequence that's presented to you? Or are you allowed to learn it in the order that fits your learning style? So can you work backwards? Can you start in the middle? Tell me what you think. Play is your next card. Are you allowed to explore, tinker, and make guesses and make mistakes without being labeled as a failure? Now you got 5 cards total. Out of those 5 cards, has your order changed? Which one of those is number 1? What's your second most important? And then go all the way through the top 5. Rearrange your cards. Practice. Practice is your next card. Do your teachers just move on to the next topic, or is there time to be deeply engaged and do practice over those skills that we need to learn? Choice. Do you have the same choices as every other student? Do you have a choice of what, when, and how I demonstrate my abilities? Okay, now you have 7 expectations. Now I want you to rank out of those 7 ones, what's your top 7? Any movement or things staying the same? Okay, I see you working. All right, let's move on to authenticity. Is it the only work in class that matter, or can your work that you do outside of school just as significant to school, the experts, family, and employers? Challenge. Do you feel like you're addressing high and meaningful standards of excellence, or are you just going through the motions and completing the assignments? Application. Do you have opportunities to apply what you're learning in a real-world setting? Now, guess what? You're going to rank those cards in your top 10. You got 10 cards, 10 being the most important to you, number 10 being the least important to you. Okay, now rank your order. Does your top 10 expectations relate to the learning norms definition that we presented on slide 5? So norms are agreements we make with each other. Do any of those 10 expectations, are they meeting the agreement between you and the school? Can any of your 10 expectations be incorporated with learning norms? How behavioral expectation or rules completed in class? Class norms inform us of how we expected to behave towards each other. Okay. For the exit slip today, you should have your expectations in the order you feel is imperative to your success. Okay, there are must-haves for every learner to evaluate how well the school delivers on these imperatives. So on your exit slip, click the link. You're going to give me your order of your top 10. It's your top 10, not Mrs. Clary's top 10. And then the second question, you're going to tell me how those imperatives are evaluated into your school norms. Okay, so that's today's exit slip. We went through this kind of quickly, but I think you've got the idea. All right, so we only had one reference that I presented today, and then I completed the standard correlations, the relevance of my assignment, and the reflection. I enjoy presenting to you today as your middle school or high school students. Please let me know if you have any questions or feedback or anything. I'll be happy to incorporate it next time. See you on the next Zoom. Bye.